Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today on episode number 9 of Chilies and Peppers, we are looking at the jalapeno. So I've got a fresh one here, I've got a roasted one here. I usually can get my hands on red ones at a little Latin market I frequent, but they haven't had them for a while. So a little planning could have helped out there. But we're going to dive into jalapenos that are fresh and roasted and smoked and dried, called chipotles, and try them in all sorts of things here. So let's get into it. I am so thankful to God for providing so many amazing flavors and aromas in our food and drink. And this is one of my favorites. This is jalapenos and chipotles are popping up everywhere in every kind of food. So, I mean, I've got a jalapeno peanut brittle here I'm going to bring out in a little bit. But I love jalapenos. I'm putting slices on my burgers all the time now that I cook at home. And holding them down with a little layer of cheese. And they are wonderful and zippy and interesting on the burgers. And whenever I go out to a Vietnamese restaurant and get a bowl of pho, it comes with a bunch of jalapeno slices. And I put them all in. I chop them up and throw them in. So I'm loving being around jalapenos, and I'm loving doing this series on chilies. And it is basically everything I can get in a fresh form, and a few dried ones, from Mark Miller's The Great Chili Book. And I've been reading through this thing for years and learning more and more about them, but jalapenos are very familiar. And I haven't been talking about heat levels much when I do these things, but on his 0 to 10 scale, jalapeno is about a 5. And the red one's about the same, and the roasted one's about the same, and a smoked to dried one called chipotle is about the same. So they're all in that 5.5 vicinity. And on the Scoville scale, they're like 2,500 to 8,000 is the range I've got. So I've been noticing there's quite a few that are not very hot. But I've tasted some of the stuff made from the salsas here today, and yeah, there's a bit of heat. So this won't be one of those dud shows that I've had so many of lately. So I'm going to take a look at this fresh one. Well, it's got those little stretch marks that some people suggest means that they're hotter than normal, or hotter than average, or hotter than the rest of that crop. But I don't know if that's true or not. But we're going to find out very directly whether this guy has some heat and what's in the smell and taste here. Smells like a green bell pepper with a little bit something more. So here goes. I'm going to dump out seeds if I can. This smells green, herbaceous, wonderful. Woo! 8,000. 8,000. Whoa. That's one of the hotter ones I've had lately. And I am... I've been fairly disappointed so many times. But this one... Whoa! Okay, so either it's a hotter crop somewhere, and a hotter variety that they're growing somewhere and letting out, or that stretch mark thing really means that. So it's a good thick skin, and it's got lots of green herbaceous notes. It's as good as the best green bell peppers I get. Not quite as watery, and a good amount of heat. Whoa, okay. That is excellent. I love it. I love it. So I put some of this fresh pepper into my basic salsa. So, whoa, it's still going. I might need a few chips to cool me off. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the salsa here, because there's so many parts of today's video. I don't have time to dwell and dawdle on different parts. So this is 300 grams of my base salsa, and the recipe will be down below in the description. And then I threw in, so this is like 300 grams of the base salsa and 60 grams of fresh jalapeno. which was about two medium-sized chilies. Oh wow. I can tell the tomatoes and onions have been cooked and caramelized and roasted and made better. But the pepper, the chili in there, has a green, fresh taste. So I love the notes, I love the freshness of it, and the green herbaceous nature. That's so good. One of the better salsas I made, because the chilies are now stepping up to the plate with a little more flavor and heat. Just delicious. A nice fresh taste. You can see some of the green specks there, I'm sure, in the overhead camera. No salt added, just the salt that's in the canned tomatoes. I don't dress it up with cilantro or anything like that. I'm just trying to find the flavor of the chili that I'm working with in this fairly bland salsa. This one is not bland. I'm still on fire from eating the neat chili, and the salsa is not cooling me off at all. This would have to be labeled medium if you put this in a jar. So, oh man, I am so glad to get some hotter chilies and be able to taste them in things. This is great. So, I'm already ready to move over to the roasted side. Scraping off some skin here, after they cool down. They're pretty easy to undress and get all that bitter, dark, burnt skin off. Couple specks of the skin are not a problem, and I think I've cleaned it pretty well. So, hope the overhead camera can see this. I'm going to cut a bit. Maybe I want more than one. So we will see how hot this guy is. Okay, so I'm going to take a little piece of the roasted one and see how that flavor is. Very moist, very green. It's still very vegetal. Ooh, wow. The heat pops up a little bit later than it did on the fresh jalapeno. Oh yeah, it's building from the back. I'm still building, so I love the flavor. There's a good roasted caramelized flavor there. So cooking the peppers just on a stove over on a cast iron skillet or over a flame is a miracle worker. So this is good, and I just want to keep eating this. I just want to keep eating the roasted pepper. So this would be a really good way to stuff something, and that people will be, your guests will be amazed at the flavor. But I won't go on all day about that. I will get some of my roasted jalapeno salsa, also 60 grams of the roasted chilies, and plus 300 grams of the base salsa. Wow, it's even more caramely than the base because there's so much roasted chili in here. Yeah, that roasted cooked flavor just permeates everything here. Wow, this is great. I can see lots of green specks. And I can taste the heat. Yeah, it's coming on. This chili, oh, this chili struck me as slightly milder than this one. This one's a monster. I like it. Its salsa was pretty warm also. This chili is slightly milder, and the salsa is too. Although that building thing is true. I might have to take a break after this to move on to the next thing. I love the way all this works here. Oh man, that is lovely. Okay, the other jalapeno thing that I like to do, as of the last month or so, is to pickle things. This is something I did a month ago, or roughly, maybe less. So, these are jalapeños. I did after discovering how easy it was on the Tabasco chili. So this is an apple cider vinegar, and I can smell the apple cider part of it. So this is like basic solutions: a cup of vinegar, cup of water, tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar. So I am just, and these, I don't think these chilies are as hot as what I just had, but I will go ahead and give it a cut and give it a taste, just to show that if you grow them yourself, this is one of the ways to preserve them for other things, because they're pretty good on nachos when they're pickled. Crispy. Apple cider vinegar goes really well with the green, herbaceous nature. And yeah, the chili is milder than the things I just had fresh or roasted. But the flavor is really good, and you get to adjust salt level. Use the kind of vinegar you want to, just for your palate. So, okay, I'm not gonna sit around and eat these. These are very good. It'll be good on burgers, good on nachos, good on lots and lots of things. So just wanted to show pickled jalapeno. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a few chipotle chilies. So this is unfortunately unlabeled, but here is the color and form of one kind of chipotle, which is kind of light brown. You could toast these to revive them or use them, rehydrate them. You would toast them in a skillet a little bit, take out stems and seeds, and pour in some hot water. And they would be some smoky chilies, because these are smoked and not just dried. They have lots of times drying chilies imparts a smoky flavor all by itself, and then you get all sorts of really weird older things on the nose and palate both. And then this is called a chili morita. Morita is a different kind of chipotle. So this started out as a jalapeno also. So you can see some size difference. They're darker, a little red to them. And then here's another kind. It just says sun-dried chili chipotle. So this is a nice package, and they're kind of on the small side. But what you do with these is probably use them in powdered form after you do the toasting, taking out seeds and the stems. You could just grind them up into powders. So I have a book here just called Chipotle. And there's a description down below. And one of the recipes here in this book is just a smoky, chipotle powder. Sounds great. Smoky chili powder. And it uses cumin, oregano, and garlic powder, but then 4 ancho chilies, 2 guajillo chilies, 2 chipotle chilies. So the chipotle is not the majority chili in here, but it comes out smoky, mostly because of the chipotle in there. So that's what this is. I made this a while back, so that was my smoky chili powder. Oh man, it just smells great. Like the best chili powder you've ever been around. And I put it in lots of stuff. And I probably should go through it faster. So, and sometimes these get rehydrated and put into sauces and things. But I'm going to show you another form and try that. So this is canned chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. So these are already rehydrated and in a tomatoey, vinegary sauce. Let's just dump some out here. Woo! Bigger than some of the other kinds I've dealt with. Okay, that's good. So I'll put that out. I just want to find. So see, it's a tomatoey sauce. You can smell the vinegar. I just want to get a piece and get a taste. And get some seeds out because I don't want a mouthful of seeds. So this should have all the heat of a jalapeno. It should have the smokiness that's introduced. Edit. It should have the smokiness that's introduced when their chilies are smoked and then dried. Vinegar, I can tell. Tartness from the tomato and vinegar sauce around it. Not getting much heat on these, but the ones that went into the salsa here from a different can, different brand, had some heat, and those have some heat. This is a pleasant smoky flavor without a lot of heat. This is not a 5.5. And it's not 8,000 Scoville units. But that's what's inside those adobo sauce cans of chipotles. So, all different sizes. They seem to have no stems, but they can have plenty of seeds. So, that's what's in there. So, this salsa was made with 60 grams of a different brand of chipotle and adobo sauce. And it is warm. I can't get the heat. Getting it over more and more in my mouth. Oh, there's a smokiness. A smokiness and a sweetness. Like a good barbecue sauce. Okay, that's really interesting. So different brands have different characters, and you can find one you like best. And start adding it to stuff. So the brand that went in here is better than San Marcos that I just tasted. From my limited experience of one can each. So Chipotle's everywhere, it's in everything, and with good reason. It's tasty, smoky, it's got lots of good characteristics. Okay, now I'm going to clear all this off and bring in some real wacky things. Okay, so this first thing isn't so wacky. This is Candied Jalapeños, Blanco Valley Farms from Texas. Sweet and hot. It's showing jalapeno peppers, sugar, water, sugar, vinegar, water. Yeah. So I've had these before, and I can detect the sugar, I can detect the jalapeno, but I don't get much vinegar on it. So super sweet pickles. So things like this are all over the place. So I will try. There's a hint of vinegar, but it's just sweet. Almost sticky and syrupy. Like it, it's delicious. You could throw these in a salad and it'd be hard for anyone to object. Unless they're avoiding sugar. A little bit of heat, but not much. Okay, next thing. Jalapeño brittle. I was buying peanut brittle for a fundraiser at a friend's school. Sugar, peanuts, corn syrup, jalapenos, baking soda, salt water. So it's peanut brittle with jalapenos in it. So I see little green specks. Let's see what's going on here. So let me find a small piece. I like this brand of peanut brittle and other nut brittles because the candy part is so wafer thin. You're not ever going to hurt your teeth on these things. So that's very considerate. So yeah, I see green specks in here. Oh yeah, got a little heat on that. That's really interesting. That's a great effect. It's sweet and hot again, like these things. Yeah, that little touch of heat doesn't hurt the peanut brittle a bit. That's the kind of thing I like. Yeah, I'm getting a little touch of heat in every one that's got a little green speck. So, there you go. Another thing that works with jalapenos. So, don't laugh when you see something like this. Just buy it and enjoy it. And my final item is spicy chipotle dark chocolate. This is manufactured for Cost Plus, so I got this at World Market. But I'm going to, ooh, look, not super wrapped. I'll break off some squares, see what we got here. So there's not very much heat on my palette at the moment, so I'll just put it in a square and see what happens. Decent dark chocolate, kind of bitter. Trying to mostly let it melt. A little heat coming up from the bottom. Melting more at the back of my throat. It is. Yeah, I get heat. I'm not sure I'm getting smoke. So let me do one more square and evaluate. So, yeah, I'm getting the heat okay. And it's a jalapeno type heat. Or maybe even that canned chipotle type heat. But I'm not sure I'm getting the smokiness. Chocolate, the fat or something is interfering with the smokiness coming through. So it's not the whole chipotle experience, but it's an interesting take for chocolate there. So I am so glad that you joined us today and watched this. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave comments and questions down below, and subscribe to the channel and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. Share it with friends if you find it interesting or if you think they would like this. So we'll keep marching along up the heat scale, up the heat ladder. And next time we are going to be doing Fresno chilies. So, all I have is chocolate now to cheers with. Cheers!